Picture this. It's a sweltering June afternoon in Chicago, and the air around Halas Hall feels electric, as if the ghost of George Halas himself is whispering that something monumental is on the horizon. There's been a buzz, a low rumble, that's grown into a roar over the past few days, and die-hard fans know that when rumors reach this fever pitch, the front office must be up to something big. But what could it be? Could the Bears really be about to swing for the fences and add a game-changing piece to their defensive puzzle? Hey, Bears News, fan report fam. If you're as fired up as I am, smash that like button and subscribe to Bears News Fan Report right now so you never miss a single play-by-play on all things Chicago Bears. All right, let me set the scene. The Bears have been hard at work this offseason, reshaping the roster from top to bottom. We saw them plug holes on the offensive line, weaving in fresh talent to protect their rookie wunderkind, Caleb Williams. We watched them scoop up promising playmakers like Colston Loveland and Luther Burden in the draft, and add a helping hand in the backfield with some savvy free agent pickups. Yet, despite all these moves, there's one glaring question mark that still haunts our defensive hopes. The pass rush. Now, Dayo Odeyingbo and Grady Jarrett have arrived with the promise of bolstering that front seven. But let's be honest, neither of them screams elite sack machine. So, what's the missing piece? Could the Bears be poised to pull off one of the boldest trades in franchise history and land the league's top sack artist? Imagine a relentless pass rusher, one who terrorized quarterbacks with astonishing regularity just last season. Picture him lining up across from your favorite offensive tackle on 3rd and long, jaws clenched in determination, eyes locked on the QB's throwing hand. That's the kind of game-wrecker Chicago has been rumored to covet. Someone whose mere presence on the field forces opposing blockers to quake in their cleats. But here's where it gets really interesting. Nobody outside that inner circle knows exactly what it would take to pry him away from his current team. Scuttlebutt around NFL social feeds hinted at first-round picks, maybe a sweetener in the form of a future mid-rounder, and an absolutely gargantuan contract extension waiting on the table. Could the Bears really be willing to part with a 2026 second-round selection? Or would they push the chips all the way in, dangling a 2027 fifth-rounder just to grease the skids of the deal? Is it possible that a sleeper agent, say a conditional fourth-rounder in 2027, might slide into the mix if certain performance benchmarks are met? And don't even get me started on the contract side. With guaranteed money looming like a shadow over Chicago's cap, how far can GM Ryan Poles flex his financial wizardry without hamstringing the team down the road? Slowly, the pattern emerges. This isn't just about adding any veteran rusher, it's about landing the architect of a sack-driven revolution, a player who led the entire NFL with a mind-boggling 17.5 sacks last season. Yes, you heard that right, 17.5. When he took the field, opposing quarterbacks saw nothing but chaos, their blind side disappearing beneath the ferocity of his bull rush. And get this, he's already in his 30s, yet there's zero talk of decline. Quite the opposite. Veteran scouts rave about his combination of size, speed, and ring experience. After all, this is a guy who's already hoisted Lombardi trophies in both New Orleans and Kansas City. Surely the leadership value he brings is worth its weight in gold, right? So let's circle back to that suspense we teased at the start. Drumroll, please, because it's time to drop the name that's got every Bears faithful on the edge of their seats. Trey Hendrickson. Now, before I go any further, I'll say this. Word is, the price tag to acquire Hendrickson will likely include at least a second-round pick. But which team is willing to surrender a premium pick in 2026? Could it be the Cincinnati Bengals, fresh off a postseason run, watching their star edge rusher hold out for guarantees? Or maybe the Buffalo Bills swoop in with a sleek offer, delivering that top-flight talent to Orchard Park and leaving Chicago to sweeten the pot further just to stay in the hunt. Some sources, like ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, have already sketched a blueprint of Bengals compensation, a 2026 second-rounder plus a 2027 fifth, Other whispers from Ben Solak suggest the Lions might bundle a 2027 fourth that elevates to a third if certain sack tallies are hit. The permutations are dizzying, and that's exactly why we're on the brink of a drama-filled saga. Consider the high-wire act this puts Ryan Poles in. On one hand, you've got a defense that's begging for that game-changing edge, a rusher who could vault the Bears from mid-pack to top 10 in hurry rates with just one off-season splash. On the other hand, you've got draft capital and future salary cap ramifications staring back like an unforgiving scoreboard clock. Can Poles thread the needle, packaging assets with ruthless efficiency to nab Hendrickson without crippling the team's long-range flexibility? Some insiders believe that, with the right combination of draft swaps and cap gymnastics, Chicago could get it done. But is it a Herculean gamble or a calculated masterstroke? And from the locker room perspective, imagine the effect on rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. Picture him standing tall in the pocket, scanning the field while knowing Hendrickson's presence on the edge will force rushed throws from the opposition. Could this singular addition spark the kind of confidence in that offense that propels the Bears back to contender status? Or will the weight of such a blockbuster trade prove too much for this young, evolving roster? Only time and the telegraphed whispers of NFL front offices will tell. As we draw this first act to a close, remember that every great story needs a catalyst. Trey Hendrickson could very well be the catalyst that transforms Chicago from a rebuilding project into a playoff powerhouse. But until those final pieces of the trade puzzle lock into place, we're left to speculate, imagine, and debate until the buzz at Halas Hall finally explodes into reality. If you're fired up for more Bears breakdowns, smash that like button, and subscribe to Bears News Fan Report so you never miss an update. Picking up where we left off, let's talk ramifications. Bringing Trey Hendrickson aboard wouldn't just bolster our pass rush, it would send shockwaves through the entire roster. Imagine the ripple effect. Opposing offensive coordinators now have to scheme specifically for Hendrickson's speed and power, freeing up other defenders to operate cleanly. Could this force weaker interior offensive lines to reshuffle their protection schemes week after week? Absolutely. And that sustained pressure could catapult the Bears into the top 5 in sacks, something this franchise hasn't seen in years. But let's be real, splash trades aren't free. If Chicago parts with a 2026 second-rounder and a conditional 2027 pick, that's draft capital we're sacrificing. Are we willing to watch a potential future star slip through our fingers in order to chase immediate impact? Some argue that wheeling and dealing is worth it if Hendrickson's presence vaults the defense into elite territory. Others caution that mortgaging our picks could leave the cupboard bare in future drafts. It's a delicate balancing act. Tilt too far toward the present, and you risk stunting long-term growth. Now, center your focus on locker room culture. Hendrickson isn't just known for sacks. He's a locker room leader with championship experience. Picture rookies like Colston, Loveland soaking up his work ethic, internalizing his relentless film study habits. Some insiders believe his presence could elevate the entire defensive unit, transforming a talented but inconsistent group into a cohesive machine. Could that influence bleed over into the offense, too? When your offense knows the defense has Hendrickson terrorizing quarterbacks, the entire team's overall confidence soars. Of course, there's always risk. Hendrickson is 31 now, and while he's shown no signs of decline, Father Time spares no one. What if he flashes a minor injury or his explosiveness dips slightly? Suddenly, that hefty draft price tag feels a lot heavier. And, let's not forget, the financial implications. A hefty new contract could squeeze Chicago's cap, forcing them to make tough calls on other defensive stalwarts or even legendary veterans. Do we keep stocking depth, or do we clear cap space to honor our commitments? Looking ahead to the 2025 season, picture a scenario where Hendrickson wreaks havoc early, piling up sacks and shrinking opponent game plans overnight. Caleb Williams. Stands tall in the pocket, unafraid to survey the field because he knows there's unparalleled support from his defense. Could this be the missing jigsaw piece that finally pushes the Bears back into postseason contention? Or will the gamble on immediate defense come at the expense of building around a young core for years to come? But what do you think about all of this? Personally, I can't help but believe that if Poles pulls off this trade and lands Hendrickson, we're talking about a seismic shift in NFC North power dynamics. I'm itching to read your takes in the comments. Do you think it's a bold, win-now move, or an overreach that could haunt us? If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, and ring the notification bell so you're always in the loop. Until next time, keep the faith, and let's roar together. Go Bears!